you don't realize how important it is to stay in contact with the people and companies that you meet. Or maybe you don't think it's possible. You meet companies in conferences, sometimes you discuss opportunities, sometimes you team, you bid with them, you even win contracts, but later, a few weeks later or a few months later, it's like you have never been friends, or for whatever reason, the relationship does not continue. If you think about it, it's a waste of time. You build all these relationships and then you forget about them. There is a way to avoid that to happen. Only a few hours ago, one of our customers submitted a fully captured bid where they were a sub with 25% of the work share in an agency where they don't have any relationships. And the prime obviously has those relationships, and our customers do not have those relationships. But what they brought to the table is their past performance, their capability. They just submitted with 25% work share that bid. Now, the reason they were called to be part of this team is that they have certain past performance with a certain Microsoft technology that was helpful to the prime. But the reason they were brought to this team is because, very simply, we follow a process with the contacts portion of the CRM, where once in a while, depending on the importance of these companies, or how do you think they can help you achieve your goals, depending on that importance, we try to keep in contact. So for example, if it is very important, maybe 2 months. If it's not important, maybe 4 or 5 months. In this case, it was in the 2-month thing, into the 2-month period. In our CRM, we put the date of the last interaction, which remind us to send an email, make a phone call, send a text, even better. But in this case, our team sent an email saying, hey, we haven't talked in a while. Let me remind you about our capabilities and such. And this company responded that email. And as a result, we ended up, my customer ended up with this 25% work share in a fully captured bid in an agency they have no idea, no relationships. But it was a benefit for them because all they have to do is to apply a methodology to allow them to stay in contact with companies that you get along, that you value, the founder, the CGO. They can help you, you can help them, except that the problem sometimes is that we don't follow up. People are busy, they don't have a system to do it, so you should do it. One of the recommendations we have is that not only use the pipeline, the opportunity portion of your CRM. Most people don't use the contact portion, or if they use it, they don't customize it at all. We recommend 2 things. One is to have a field that you can create that you can call something like, we call it RAO, Relationships in Agencies and Offices, RAO. So in that field, when we meet somebody, we ask them where do they have relationships and where they have contracts, and we write that down. That will allow you to, when you look at the contact, when you look at the person, you will realize that you have a relationship with him or her, but also you will know by reading the field where they have relationship. In other words, you will know your relationships. So that is very helpful. And then we create a view that allows you to see by agency what people do you know. And again, when you see that view, you're not only going to see the federal employees that work in that agency, your contacts in that agency, but also the partners that have work and relationships in that agency. I hope that makes sense and is understandable. So that is one thing, the RAW field, the view by agency, and the other thing is very simply to record, to document the last time you had interaction with these people that you want to keep a relationship with. So once you decide in what period of time you're gonna reach out, if you see that you haven't been talking in a few weeks and the period is 2 months, then you can reach out. This was the case. This situation with my customer that just submitted was in the couple of months period of time to keep in contact, because they got along very well. They discussed a couple of opportunities a couple of times or something like that. They got along well, so they in the brain of our customers say, I like these guys, let's have them in the higher frequency contact list.